Welcome to yet another episode of Success Principles by Successful Principles of Parenting Project. My name is Kamalneet Singh. I'm an author of a book titled The Extraordinary Kids, a book on parenting and child psychology. I'm also a TEDx speaker and a mindset coach. I firmly believe that every father is a superman. Yeah, you heard that right. Every father is a superman, and every mother a superwoman, and conscious parenting is their true superpower. While kids have their superheroes in the form of the Supermans and the Spider-Mans and all of them, I strongly feel that a parent has their true superpower in their parenting. And we bring this episode to you, this whole series, Success Principles by Successful Principles, a parenting project, so that you as a parent can establish your relationship with your child in a way that they will always cherish it. I know that every parent, if you ask them, what do you really want from your kids? What is it that you want for them? And they have a very simple answer. I want my kids to be happy. I want my kids to be successful. And I want my kids to be good human beings. Well, that's a perfect outcome that we all desire. Sometimes it is met, and sometimes maybe it is not. But can we as parents do everything in our capacity to ensure that our relationship with our kids is in such a way that when they grow up, they look back and they say, you know what? My parents made a huge contribution to my life. And this series, we are very, very glad to share with you that there are different educators from different parts of the world and the country who come forward and share their experiences on this subject of parenting. And the best part is that they have literally, they have met thousands and thousands of parents from different walks of life. And when they share their experiences, it makes our learning curve a little shorter and gives us insights into ideas that really come in handy for this whole parenting journey. And I'm very happy about the fact that we have with us today a very, very, very special guest, somebody who sits on loads of experience, somebody who has seen parents from different walks of life, somebody who has been in this domain for a long time. By now, all the parents must be, thinking that who do we have on the show today? So let me give you a little insight about our guest today. Our guest on the show today is respected Ms. Geeta Varshneya, an educator with more than 20 years of experience. I'll give you a little more insight about her background for you to have a better understanding. Ms. Geeta Varshneya is the Education Director with Shri Global School, Greater Noida West. She has been in school administration, as I shared with you, for almost 2 decades. She's attended the best of educational institutions and has made her mark in the same, be it Summerfield School, New Delhi. She has done her eco honors from Lady Shri College, Delhi School of Economics. She's been associated with Princeton, USA, Queen's University, Canada. She's conducted numerous training programs for teachers and is an ACER certified trainer in strategic leadership and has conducted trainings for principals of CBSE schools all over India in strategic leadership. She has been on numerous panels and committees bringing reforms in education. Slightly on a personal level, she has been, during her college days, she was very, very much involved in debates and a lot of involvement in theater and had left her mark in Lady Shri as well. Now, during her tenure, she's been the recipient of many prestigious awards like Global Teacher Accreditation Award by the British Council, Lifetime Contribution for the Cause of Education by Mewar Group of Institutions, Best District Principal Award from Science Olympiad Foundation for 2016-17, National Leadership Award in Thought Leadership in Co-Curricular Education in School 2019 by School Stars, to name a few. Somebody whose hat is full of feathers, somebody who feels that holistic development is the way forward, somebody who feels that if you prepare kids for the real exam for life, it will really help them in the real essence of it. She believes that generally human beings want to do good work and be recognized for the same. And this approach has helped her in creating successful teams. An eminent educator who has made a massive difference in the society. We are glad to have you with us on the show. Thank you very much for joining us. Glad to have you. And we had this conversation some time back, and we took things forward from there. And as the series is titled Success Principles, I'm very curious to know from you. Success is a very, very broad term, and it can mean literally different things to different people. But as an educator with loads of experience, I'm intrigued to know, what is your definition of success? How would you define it?
As you said, success means different to different people. Because we are all different, we are born different, we are brought up in different way. Our identity is unique in this world, Kamalneet. I mean, there's no one else like Geeta Varshneya. So everybody is unique. And so the success mantra for everyone has to be slightly different. Say a sports person would want to be in the national team and win international medals. That's success for him. Somebody might want to innovate something, if that innovative thing is in the child. Somebody may want to become a successful dancer. So you see, those are success targets or success benchmarks in their professional life. But, as a human being, I think we all have our calling, some purpose for which we have come on this planet, were born, and success is finding out that purpose and even trying to achieve it. I mean, even if you're not able to achieve it, if you can find your calling and you work towards it, it's a very satisfying life. So success is finding out that bit, that why am I here and what do I really want to do and I'm made for. So that is the effort we educators have in nurturing children also. So I think success is that.
That's a great definition, by the way. So all the parents listening to this, success is finding your real calling, as I could draw from the conversation. And what I really liked about the fact that you mentioned that we're all here, we're all put here for a purpose, and if we are able to discover that and we live that purpose, I think that would be real success. So all the parents out there, while you might have an agenda for your kids, but remember that they are here, they're put here for a different purpose, maybe, which might be different from what you want them to do, right? So a slight message there, on career. Now, all parents would want their kids to be successful. That's what they're really looking at. Now, what is it that makes them successful in the real life?
Opportunities. They are great learning mediums. There's one thing which I like to tell the parents. You see, parenting is very tough. There is no set formula for it.
True.
But under parenting and over parenting both are, dangerous. So what, of course, we have to understand our child, what are the needs of the child, and reach out only that much. Overreaching is very, very dangerous, which is what we see happening. Very early in life, we should allow the children to take informed decisions. And that is how they learn thinking and decision making. And it has to start with very small things. I mean, what would you like to wear? So, throwing open the options to them and then they decide. And we don't have to be judgmental there. So the child will realize if it was a misfit, the dress. So it is going out to play, but he wore something which was for a party or something, so they realize, they learn. But they take accountability of that. In parenting and in teaching, there is a lot of telling, which is wrong. We should always ask the child what he wants to do, what he wants to learn, when he wants to study, so then they start thinking for themselves and start taking decisions. The biggest drawback I have seen, which allures success for many adults, is that they can't decide. So, it starts with those small steps in decision making and taking accountability that, okay, I decided this, but I was wrong. So that's fine. You take wrong decisions in life and you learn from them.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
And I think when they will probably take accountability when they see their parents taking accountability for some decisions that went wrong.
See, demonstration is the best way of parenting. But very few parents understand this. Everybody becomes a parent, but parenting is a huge responsibility. I mean, once you are a parent, you have to realize that 24/7 eyes and ears are observing you. And so you have to be above, like we say in teaching also, once you become a teacher, your behavior, your demeanor, you have to be above many others. Only then the students would look up to you, and it is the same for the children. The kids would look up to you only when they see the parent to be good.
Okay. I think role modeling is the
ultimate
way to take things forward. Got that. So all the parents out there, role modeling is the key, and what you did mention was that early decision making plays an important role. And you also mentioned about, I like that statement, in teaching and in parenting there is a lot of telling. So all the parents out there, I think it's probably time for reflection. At your home, at your place, is there a lot of telling that is happening, or is there a lot of asking that's happening? And even if there is a lot of telling that's happening, I think it's time, with this understanding, that we switch gears from telling to asking, because it changes the game for everybody. For that now, they all these years, more than 2 decades, and even more, in fact,
40 years, Kamalneet.
So 20 years, more than 2 decades in administration, and overall, 4 decades. Now that's a huge experience. Now tell me something. You would have literally, as I was talking in the beginning of the episode, that educators like you have literally met thousands of parents, and it's not easy. Now, with that kind of experience, what is it that you have observed, in the sense that, have you observed any patterns which are non-supportive in the parenting journey, that you see some common patterns, and you find them that it isn't very helpful for the child, yet we are seeing those patterns on regular basis?
Yes. See, one thing which I see is that parents forget what they were in their childhood or in their teens. So things which are normal, they don't accept. And so that is one very big thing. You see, we should not expect a 13, 14-year-old to behave like a 40-year-old. I mean, they are 13, 14. They would behave like that.
Correct.
And they have to be respected for their age. So that is something that, just because we are elders doesn't mean that we don't respect a 6-year-old. A 6-year-old would behave like a 6-year-old. And maybe much better than many other 6-year-olds. And that is what we should look for. But to expect that they would behave and have the wisdom of an elderly or that's uncalled for. So that is one thing parents really forget. The other is that I think parents have a lot of anxiety of their child not doing well. And I mean, as a parent, everybody would have maybe. I mean, our parents also maybe had that kind of anxiety. We didn't realize it. Probably we were born in a generation where it wasn't so important, especially for girls. So I never felt that anxiety from my parents that whether Geeta is doing well or not. For them, education was a way of living in the childhood, and so it was taken by all. What is important is that just like the parent would like to be what he, aims for in life, in the same way, we have to let the child be. A lot of leisure, a lot of introspection, a lot of exposure we can give to the child, meeting good people, going to good places. All that is far more educative than, the school subjects. So that is what is important, that, you meet good people, have, very good books strewn around, articles strewn around. Nowadays, internet is there, but we must have a talk on the dining table of something new. What happens is that if the family discusses a lot of good things, then the entire environment at home becomes the same.
True.
And we should not discuss, negative things, especially when we are eating together or sitting together as a family. We should discuss some very nice things that are happening in the world and share those. So that creates that bonding that the child feels that whenever I'm in my family and with my parents, we are talking progress, we are talking good, we are talking happiness, and that creates longing for those moments and those meetings. What I see is that children don't want to sit with the parents because parents say, आपकी पढ़ाई कैसी चल रही है, आप क्या कर रहे हैं, आप उस ट्रेन से क्यों मिलते हैं, वो अच्छा नहीं है, or it's that kind of talk.
Correct.
But if you treat them as human beings and discuss things which are good, I mean something good happened in this part of the world, or I met somebody who's like that, or I did think, and your own experiences of learning, and a lot of humor, a lot of caring is to be demonstrated, and these things then become part of their character. I mean, they just see, because what they see they imbibe.
Very, very, very powerful. All the parents out there, I can tell you that, what you heard in the last couple of minutes, it's more than, it's more than gold. And I really, the whole idea that you shared about that, people sitting together and talking about, life, talking about, who they met, talking about how things have been for them. And a conversation can go beyond कि तुम्हारे कितने number आए हैं, so all the parents out there, you can see for yourself that what's the conversation that you're having with your child, which is kind of driving him away from you. Instead of he, I like the term that you used, there's a longing for these moments.
Yes.
I think that statement in itself, it's $1 million statement. All the parents out there, I think it's a reflective moment. Are you creating those conversations? Are you having those conversations? Are you creating that environment wherein your kids have this longing to spend time with you? Or are they trying to run away? I think that's a very powerful one. I'm glad you brought this up in a very subtle, yet in a very, very profound way. Now, now with this, we have some understanding of, what are some ideas that can be helpful? What are some patterns that can be avoided? Now, at this moment, I would like to break a barrier around educators. Parents feel that, we don't have a personal access to the educators at times. And even if we do, we don't probably get to know them at a personal level, so to say, right? So what I'll do is, I'll take you to a round called rapid fire, wherein I'll be asking you a couple of questions, and they're pretty simple. You can make a choice so that our parents can also understand you at a little personal level. So, are you okay with it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect. I think let's dive in. Let me bring on my rapid fire for you. Okay, got that. So if you have to make a choice between tea or coffee, which one would you?
Tea.
Tea. Okay, I think very, very clear. Tea. Okay. Summers or winters?
Winters.
Winters. Got that. Mountains or beaches?
Both.
All right. How about if you have to make a choice?
Mountains.
Mountains. Got that. Nimbu pani or coconut water?
Coconut water.
Coconut water. Indian Chinese?
Indian.
Okay. Indian Italian?
Indian.
Indian Mexican?
India has wide variety. I mean, when I think of Indian, it's everything like Punjabi, South Indian,
Correct.
Rajasthani. So Indian.
Perfect. I think you're very clear about it. No matter what, it's Indian. I get that.
I have eaten all over the world, and I love Indian food.
Perfect. So let me bring in some Indianism to it a little more. Chole bhature or aloo paranthe?
Aloo paratha.
All right. With butter?
Yes.
And curd? Got that. English or maths?
Maths.
Maths. Got that. Confidence or knowledge?
Confidence.
All right. Can you share why?
Knowledge one can attain if you have confidence. Confidence is rarer. Knowledge is common, especially with the net.
Got that. Got that. So confidence it is. A phone call or a text?
Phone call?
Phone call. Got that. Sunrise or sunset?
Sunrise.
Sunrise. Got that. Social media, Facebook or LinkedIn?
Nothing.
None?
I don't like social media.
Got it. Got it. Bollywood or Hollywood?
Bollywood, but some parts of Hollywood also.
Okay, so majorly Bollywood, some parts of Hollywood. For that, I think this gives us a good insight about you, and any choice of movies in Bollywood, comedy, light, fictional or horror.
See, recently we have seen some good thrillers, but thrillers were Hollywood forte earlier. So now we are seeing some good thrillers, especially on OTT. I like good storytelling. So movies, good storytelling, or out and out comedy. So
out and out comedy.
I mean, it's entertaining because I read a lot. So I like good storytelling, which is and Bollywood has some very good movies in that genre.
Know that. So all the parents out there, they've been asking that, we want to know educators at a personal level. So I think this should help you know her at a little personal level. Now, coming back to the questions now, the reality is also that competition is increasing. There's new technology coming in. There are new ways of working coming in. New levels of the work design is changing. The careers are changing. People say that probably the careers that exist today, a lot of them might not even exist about 10-15 years from now.
Yeah.
And it's not the idea isn't to scare you as parents out there. The idea is to understand from an educator that given that things are changing at a very fast pace, what skills do you think kids should attain at an early age that will stand the test of time? What skills should they pick up that will help them through and through?
Yeah, so one thing is very real. I think a lot of parents are realizing, especially those who have their kids in middle school and senior school, that their kids are not going to pursue one profession all their life. That I think is clear to all. So change is something which should come in. And you said 10 years, maybe in 5 years only we'll see changes in professions and new ones which are coming in.
Yes.
So that is definitely there. And so the readiness for this change, there is something very, very important here, Kamalneet. We had a system in India where you work, you earn for your and save for your retirement and stuff like that. Today, you need to save for the change that you'll make after 5 years. So maybe you'll have to undergo a course, or you try something new which will not bring in money for 1 or 2 years. So children have to be very conscious of this fact, that whatever they are earning, they have to keep a corpus for that change that will happen. And it will happen. Otherwise, they'll be out if they don't adapt, they don't learn, they don't upgrade themselves. Also, it is important that they pursue 2 to 3 things, which earlier we used to put in, hobbies or your other interests. Because there are many chances, more chances of those interests coming into your mainstream profession in life. Say, for instance, what happened to well-being, yoga, all those things during COVID. I mean, that became mainstream.
Mainstream, true.
So other interests which you pursue, you gain knowledge and skills in those, should also be taken seriously. That these are things which can support me when I'm changing, or when I'm forced to change my occupation or vocation.
Yeah.
And that is going to happen.
True.
Also the broad-based skills, and here the skill of collaboration is equally or even more important than competition, because you'll have to work with people across globe, online, offline. So you see that collaboration skills are very, very
true.
Learn to work in teams right from an early age, because I think till a decade ago we were so bad that we were not doing well anywhere in team sports in India. So, but that is giving way. Now people are realizing how important it is. So it is something that you have to look for these humane skills. See, I believe that your first responsibility is towards yourself. You have to look after the body, mind, and soul that you have. So you should be healthy, you should be agile and active. When I say mind and soul also, that means you have to keep challenging yourself. You see, you have to develop your mind. The cognition should go on. It should not get dead. So you see, you have to question that in the last 1 year, have I learned something new or not? I mean, I myself keep doing a course every 2 years. So, so I learn, I meet new people, I get to do, and then implementing it and testing.
That's a very powerful question to ask. Have I learned something in the last 1 year? I think all the parents out there, a good reflective one to consider.
Kamalneet, otherwise, let's keep a log of wood here, because that would change over the years. So it's something that, it has to grow. You have to grow in all manners whatsoever, physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally. So all those things are very, very important. And I think even that experience of growing is so satisfying that, you feel you are moving forward in life. And that is what will keep you going. I mean, then come what may, you're ready for that.
Very powerfully said. I remember, reading a book which said that, what contributes to happiness. And that's exactly what you mentioned, that, so when you're contributing, you do feel happy. And when you're growing, growing, maybe emotionally, maybe mentally, maybe spiritually, that also contributes to your happiness levels. So I'm glad you brought that out. All the parents out there, I think this conversation should open a new path for you. And I'm also keen to address parents out there who at times say that ये जो डांस क्लास है, ये जो तुम्हारा ये वाला क्लास है, it's a waste of time. पढ़ाई में ध्यान लगाओ. What madam just mentioned is extremely powerful. When during the tough times, when the transition is happening, when we are talking about a job that is existing today but might not exist 5 years down the line, the very skill that a child has today, the very hobby or the very interest that he is doing good at today, that can help him transition from one place to the other, one profession to the other. And we know a lot of people who, especially post COVID, during COVID, uh, as you said, that the something that wasn't mainstream has become mainstream for a lot of people, and they're doing very well, very well. And all the parents out there who say that क्या तुम वीडियो बनाते रहते हो, I think that in itself is a huge profession, a huge one.
Yes.
So I'm glad you brought that out, and very candidly you said that it is going to happen. A lot of professions that exist today won't exist in the future. And if you do not progress with time, and if you do not adapt to new skills, we will be left behind. I think I'm glad you brought this out, a message that all parents should hear. And the idea isn't to scare you. The idea is to bring you to terms with the reality of how things are unfolding. Yeah. Very, very powerful. Now, you have given us a tough time, by the way. Okay, so I'm going to pose a difficult one for you now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, 40
Love
years.
questions. Yeah.
Sorry?
I love difficult questions.
Perfect. So 4 decades, 40 years, huge experience. Now, if you have to pull out from these 4 decades, 4 messages for parents, what would they be? I know, pulling 4 from 40 years can be a task.
A whole lot I have shared.
Yeah.
A few things which I feel they don't realize, but should be important.
Yes.
One is that the parents should never fight in front of the kids. It leaves a sense of insecurity with the child. So the differences should be sorted out, in their own relationships separately. And in front of the children, there should be parents. And they are a team. So they have to demonstrate that good team there. And even if separations happen, that should happen very beautifully, without any, negativity. That's very important, because as parents, they should realize their responsibility towards the kids. So even if, they do have to live separately, it has to be done very dignified manner, respecting each other. Children get scarred when they see that one of their parents is not respecting the other. It somehow confuses them. They are not able to decide. That is very important. Secondly, I think a lot of sharing should happen between parents and children. And it has to be two-way. It's not that only the parents share, the kids should also be sharing. And they will share if we are not judgmental about it. We have to be like counselors, their parents, that you have to listen to a lot, hold them when they need in that sharing. but not be commenting or judgmental about it. Never. And I have come across such parents who are withholding all those comments and not sharing till the child asks. Till the child asks that am I doing the right thing, or what do you think about it, dad or mom, whatever. So then it is okay. But otherwise, telling तुम ये गलत कर रहे हो या तुम ये खराब, nothing. See, even the children know when they are right or wrong. They know it. We feel that we have to tell them it's not the case. They all know when they are doing the right thing. They know when they're doing the wrong thing.
It's a brilliant input.
So you see, those are important, and childhood has to be a very happy experience. So a lot of celebrations, a lot of joy. Everything. If the child does something that should be, bringing happiness, and not emphasizing what the child cannot do. That is very, very important for developing that self-esteem, for developing that bonding. And good childhoods, happy childhoods lead to a lot of learning and a lot of confidence building in the children. So I guess we all have to be happy people. We have to be happy with ourselves if you want happy kids around. And you see, that's what I have to do. My job is to make my teachers happy, so that they spread happiness in the classrooms, right?
Very, very well put. A happy parent creates happiness around, and a happy teacher creates a happy classroom. I think that's a brilliant takeaway in these statements. Something to build on from what you said. I was reading an article, and all the parents out there, it is something to take note of. What you mentioned about when a child sees their parents, fighting and arguing and in a situation which is not very appropriate. There's an article which I read, and what it mentioned was that if we see the current situation, a lot of grown-up adults who are so-called in the marriage age are not willing to get married. And what the survey spoke about was that when these grown-ups were asked as to why are you not planning to get married, they had quite a few reasons, but one of them that was stated was that I had seen enough of it and I don't want to go through it. So what it means is when kids, they see their parents fighting, arguing, and in situations which they wouldn't want to, they make a decision that I don't want to live this life, and hence they're deciding not to take that decision to get married. And that's one decision that we as a parent, it's not easy for us to accept that decision, and I'm glad you brought this out.
Kamalneet, I mentioned earlier that everybody becomes parent. Maybe they are not ready for it. It's a huge responsibility. Yeah. And if we want to teach respect to children, then first is, how much do I respect the others? I mean, the other parent.
Yes.
So keeping that in, and if the father is respecting the mother is respecting the father, it's a very, very congenial thing for the child. Yes. And he learns to respect. She learns to respect. True. And that trust, which they exhibit.
And I think all of this is connected to a healthy self-esteem and confidence and how they express themselves, and overall a happy relationship within the family. Yeah. So I think all the parents out there, you have all the rights to have your arguments, but see to it that you do it, independently. Have your conversations, figure out your disagreements, but let the child not see the scene. That doesn't really help. Got that. So yeah, that's a good conversation, and some key messages coming from you. I'll take you back to the rapid fire. And
oh God. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Perfect. So now, if you have to make a choice between a a big party and a small gathering, what would you choose?
Where my, where my friends are.
All right. So,
Yes, a small gathering where my friends are, definitely.
okay. So a small gathering, wherever your friends are, go that. Shopping, online or offline?
Now I have adapted to online, so online is also fun.
All
Yes.
right. So now online, got that?
Yeah.
Okay. So an email or a handwritten letter, what would you prefer?
See, the words are more important. So an email also would do because it's quicker.
Okay. Okay. Got that. Perfect.
Although still have my fiance's letters tied in a ribbon, handwritten one. So that's a different joy altogether.
Different feeling, right? So anytime he says something, you can always show, remember you wrote this. You better live up to this. Yeah, I think I have submitted those letters as well. And my wife today tells me sometimes that, I have all the proofs in place. Okay, got that. So, okay, now if you have to, so sweets or savories?
Pardon? Just come again.
Sweets or savories?
Sweets.
Or savories between sweet. Okay, sweets is the choice. Got that. Uh, save or spend. Now, having heard you, I know the choice now because you did make a suggestion for the youth as well. But what would you want to say? Save or spend?
See, I don't believe in splurging, but yeah, your needs should be fulfilled and your desires also as much as possible. I don't like people with unfulfilled desires, so I feel you should fulfill as much as possible. But early in life, we should learn the difference between consumption and investment and fix up a ratio for that. So, like buying a car is consumption, but buying gold is investment.
Correct. Correct.
Right? So, and that proportion should be set.
Correct.
That this is consumption and I have to have so much of investment.
Correct.
So, I mean, savings and investment. Only savings doesn't work. So that's why I'm using the word investment. No. So this is something that should be done.
Very crucial. I read something that about 80% of the Indians, they don't undergo a financial literacy understanding, and it doesn't help. So I think an early understanding about money, investments, the difference between needs, wants, desires, consumption and investment is a must out there. So all the parents out there, something for you as well to look into and consider. All right, now a board game or a game on the mobile?
Board game because company is good.
All right. Okay. A favorite book? If you do you like reading books?
Oh yes.
Okay. Can you tell us your favorite?
I think my all-time favorite is Fountainhead.
Fountainhead. Got that. So that's Fountainhead has been I think a very popular, yes, across the globe, and but a thick one. A thick one.
Yes.
Yeah. Got that. So favorite movie?
Many.
Okay. Pick one.
I liked Bahubali 1 and 2.
1 and 2. Bahubali 1 and 2. Favorite actor?
Again, plenty. Out of the recent ones, I like Ranbir Kapoor. Ranbir Kapoor and even Ranbir Singh.
Got that. So Ranbir is Ranbir's the choice. Got that. Got that. And to conclude, favorite actress. Why do we leave them out?
Oh yes, many. But I'm finding this one intriguing. Out of the newer lot, Deepika Padukone is good, versatile, and Not anyone else who's left a mark as such.
Perfect. Well that. Done. Now, I think this definitely helps us to know you a lot better.
I'm waiting for Kiara Advani to do some good roles.
I think the audience has an expectation. Let's see how it unfolds. For that. Now assuming that coming back to the series and the questions, assuming that you are speaking into a microphone and the speaker is audible to the entire youth, all the students out there, you're speaking into a microphone and the speaker is audible to all the students, the young lot out there. What message would you want to give it to them?
I think one habit which is very strengthening and nurturing is that 5 minutes of gratitude and reflection at the end of the day. How was my day? What did I do right? What did I do wrong? And what am I thankful about today? I think that's a very powerful thing, and that's actually gives you a nice closure, and you sleep peacefully. So, and it's like a continuum. You grow with this thought every day. You become a better analyst. You develop more gratitude, and I think this very small regular habit really makes you a good human being. So I would say
it's a very powerful one, and we are in the same boat. The only difference is that for me, it's a morning one most of the times, and
me too. I'm a morning person. Yeah.
So I have a journal, and just try and see that if I can write 2, 3, 4 things a day that I can look from the past or from the day that I can be thankful for, and have read a bit about energy, and it says that when you are in the state of gratitude, your energy changes, and it's a different feeling altogether. So all the parents out there, if you want your kids to be thankful for, if you want your kids that they should live in that state of gratitude, telling them won't work, as she said that telling won't help, demonstration would. So I think that's another habit that would be helpful. And now to conclude, you had a massive 40 years of journey, and it's a long tenure, and you've seen life in all its hue and in all its hues. And what has helped you, or let me rather paraphrase, rephrase and ask you, what has been your mantra or mantras of success that helped you move upward and forward?
I was fortunate to have a very happy and loving family, and a very wanted child, and I was the youngest in the family, 2 brothers, elder brothers, and so it was. I think it was that was wonderful, and since I got so much, it was easy to give the same to the others, and then it snowballs. I think the same thing I would say about after marriage also. A family which was outright there to see my happiness, my growth, and that kind of a thing, that you do what you want to do and support in that. That is what is important. So that's what I would want everyone to do: help out others, support others in whatever they want to do. That would create a better world. That's it.
Fantastic. I'm glad that you shared things from your personal life. You shared your ideas on life, and this has turned out to be a beautiful conversation. And I would like to thank all the parents out there for being with us and watching this. I would like to say something to conclude. It is in the implementation that you would have the results. So your outcomes, your results, and all of it would be there in the implementation. A lot of golden nuggets had come your way today, and pick up whatever you like the most to begin with, and then start implementing it to see the results. And thank you very much, madam. It was lovely talking to you. Not only the audience, but I'm very, very sure that they enjoyed, they learned. At the same time, I too learned, and a lot of it. Thank you so much for your valuable time and
Thank,
inputs. Looking forward to many more conversations.
thank you, Kamalneet. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.